Alright guys, I'm going to make a quick video on the Chapter 9 review and go through a couple of the problems on there. I'm going to go kind of fast so I can get through as many as I can, and with the assumption that obviously you can look over it and go back if you need to. So the first thing you're going to have to know for the test that's not going to be provided for you and you have to be able to remember it is the arithmetic explicit formula, which is u sub n equals u sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. You have to be able to do that. The u sub 1 is the first term, the difference is whatever you're adding or subtracting, and then n minus 1. So this is essentially what's going to set you up so that you can, given a list of numbers, you can tell me how to get the terms. So you have to be able to do that, and you also have to be able to do the geometric, so it's arithmetic. And then the geometric is u sub n equals u sub 1 r to the n minus 1 power. And that's geometric. Okay, you have to know those two things for 100%. And as we go through the review, you'll see sort of where they pop up. So please know how to do that. That will make your life so easy. A bunch of the problems on the test and review use this, and if you know how to just generate those formulas, then you're going to be good to go. So I'm just going to start with number 1. Okay, it says consider 3,600, 2,520, 1,764, ... Okay, and they want us to find u sub 10. So first of all, they're looking for u sub 10, which is a dead giveaway that I'm going to be using this formula up here or this formula, right? It's u of blank, so I have to be either using one of those two. So the first thing I want to do is figure out if it's arithmetic or geometric. So what I'm going to do is subtract 3,600 minus 2,520, and then that's 1,080, and I'll try 2,520 minus 1,080. And I don't get the third number, so it's not arithmetic. Okay, so arithmetic is out, so I'm going to try geometric. And to find geometric, I'm going to assume it has a ratio. And to find the ratio, I do the second number divided by the first number. So I'm going to do 2,520 over 3,600, which equals, so 2,520 divided by, gives me 0.7. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is multiply this value by 0.7 to get, and see if that comes out. So times, and I do. Okay, so I've determined that this is in fact geometric. It has a common ratio of 0.7 and a first term of 3,600. They want me to find u sub 10. I'm going to fill in the equation u sub 10 is equal to, and I'm using this guy up here, right? The first term is 3,600. The ratio is 0.7 times 10, so 10 minus 1 is 9. And then I can just calculate that. I do 10 minus 1 is 9, so 0.7 to the 9th power times 3,600. And we approximate, I think on the tester, we might ask you to do the 100th to the 1,000th, so I'm going to go to the 1,000th here. 145.273 is the 10th term. Okay, then they want me to find the sum of the first 10 terms. So this is, again, geometric. This will be provided for you on the test, but you have to know how to use it. Right? That's my sum of the first 10 terms. Because I have an s there, it's got to be sum. So if I want to find 10, I already know u sub 1 is 3,600. I know the ratio. I know n because it's s of 10. So I start filling values in. S of 10 equals u sub 1, which is 3,600, over 1 minus 0.7 to the power of 10, all over 1 minus 0.7. And this is just straight calculator work. So 0.7 to the power of 10 minus 1 times 3,600, and then divided by 0.3. So again, we'll be rounding here. It's approximately 11,661.0203. And that should make sense because we're starting with 3,600, we're adding 2,500, and it's going to keep getting smaller and smaller because our ratio is 0.7. So there you go. That should work out. Moving on to number 2. Find the sum. Okay, they give me 5 plus 6.2 plus 7.4 plus plus 17. So the first thing I want to do here is, again, is it arithmetic or geometric? And then did they give me the explicit formula? If you can't see what the formula is, you need to write it. That is your biggest tool. You need to write the explicit formula. This is arithmetic because each one is going up by 1.2, right? And then here's a problem for us. So I know that the first term is 5, and I know that the difference is 1.2, so I can use that to get the explicit formula. Okay, first term plus the difference times n minus 1. Now, if I'm going to find the sum of all these, it's going to be the arithmetic formula, S of n equals n u sub 1 plus u sub n all over 2. And I can start listing off some of the stuff I know about this. I know that the first term, u sub 1, is 5. I know that the last term, u sub n, is 17. But I don't know what n is. Thankfully, I have this formula. I can use it to figure out what n is. You have to be able to write these formulas out. You have to be able to figure out the explicit formulas. The explicit formulas are the most important ones. The explicit formulas are the most important ones. You have to be able to do the explicit formula for every single list of numbers that I give you. If you can't do that, you're going to be in trouble. I know this is the explicit formula. Okay? I know that the last number is 17, so I'm going to substitute u of n in for 17. 17 equals 5 plus 1.2 n minus 1. Notice the only thing I don't know here is n. Well, that's helpful because that's the only thing I need to figure out. So we go through and solve. We subtract 5 from both sides. I get 12 equals 1.2 n minus 1. I divide by 1.2 and I get 10. I add 1, I get 11 equals n. So now I can fill in my formula. S of 11 equals 11 times the first term of 5 plus the last term of 17 all over 2. And that's calculator at this point. So you get 22 times 11 divided by 2 is 121, I think. There you go. You're done. The key to all of these is being able to use these formulas properly. The partial sum ones are going to be given to you, but you have to be able to do the explicit. If you can't do that, then you're going to be missing out on a lot of information that you need to be successful. Give me more space. Come on. Come on. It's always the worst part. Good enough. My goodness. Okay. Moving on. Let's do number... Let's see. Let's do number 4. Number 4 is a good one. So they want me to find the sum. So I have the sigma notation, n equals 1 to 50 of 72 minus 3.5n. A lot of people are going to look at this and not know necessarily which one it is. You might think it's arithmetic, you might think it's geometric, and you're not sure. What you can do is take the first value of 1 and substitute it in for n and see what you get. I'm going to get 72 minus 3.5, which is going to be 68.5. That's my first term. Okay? Then I'm going to put in 2. So I'll get 3.5 times 2, 72 minus that value, and it's going to give me 64 flat. That's a lie, sorry, 65 flat. Doing some of this in my head. Okay, that's my second term. And then dot, 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 and I keep going. If I do the third term, it's going to give me 61.5. And I can see that this is definitely arithmetic where I'm losing 3.5 each time. Okay, so I'm going down 3.5. So I know it's arithmetic. If you're not sure though, substitute values in, right? This thing down here is the index. It tells me to start at 1. So I'm putting 1 in to start. And I'm going to put every number from 1 to 50 in here. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and generate this list and then add the whole list up. So if you need to find out sort of if it's arithmetic or geometric, you can generate the first 3 of the list and then just look and see, is it being subtracted or added by the same thing, or is it multiplying? This one's clearly being subtracted by 3.5 each time, so we go from there. Okay. I know it's arithmetic. I know that I'm going to be using my S of n equals n u1 plus un all over 2. All right, I know that n is 50 because my top here and I start at 1. I know that u sub 1 is 68.5 because I figured it out by putting 1 in. I don't know what u sub 50 is, which would be my n value, so I got to figure that out, but you know, I have the formula here. I can substitute in 72 minus 3.5 times 50 and figure that out. So do 3.5 times 50. And then do 72 minus that. And I get negative 103. So there we go. So I have all the values I need. I know I'm doing S of 50 equals 50 times 68.5 minus 103 all over 2. And again, this is just calculator work. And then times 50 divided by 2. And I get negative 862.5.